This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update for you. NXT did its lowest rating since February 15th, 2022, as Piper comes up to say hi, 0.13 rating. So Shawn Michaels not exactly hitting a home run with the NXT content. I did do a review of NXT or a watch along about a month or so ago, the night that it was Jinder Mahal against Bron- uh, Bronson Rex Steiner, I think his real name is, or Rick Steiner's son, Braun Breaker. That was the only good match on the show. The rest was actually torturous to watch. So, but to each their own. But apparently, the tickets are free for that, and they're even having problems getting people in there to watch it for free. Apparently, FTR are trying to lobby for CM Punk to be brought back in to AEW. He's sitting at home getting paid right now. They apparently renewed their contracts, and they really want Punk in. God bless them, but they're one of the most overrated tag teams in the history of wrestling. A miniature version of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, who weren't the biggest guys, and without the cool lifestyle outside the ring. But that's just my opinion. As far as entertainment value, the AEW has less talking than WWE, so that's definitely a good point on their side. By the way, watch, if anyone hasn't seen the interview I did with DDP yesterday, I suggest you guys check it out. Kevin Sullivan's doing an interview at 8 p.m. tonight with King of Connecticut and Jack Kilby, and Kevin Sullivan is managing the Blood Hunter May 6th at the Great North Wrestling event in Ottawa. WWE's Rey Mysterio did an Impaulsive podcast with Logan Paul. Great thing, part of the deal with WWE is that's one of the top podcasts in the world, and part of the deal with hiring Logan Paul is these wrestlers are now appearing on the podcast, getting more publicity. I watched the whole thing. I usually watch most of his podcasts. They talked about wanting to do, they kayfabed, which was good. They talked about wanting to do a mask versus hair match with Ray and Dominic. Ray talked about issues he's had with getting recognized in public, particularly when he's on vacation. He's got to deal with it. And actually, both Logan Paul and Ray talked about issues with hotel staff, like people that are helping them. I mean, not that this is any of us regular people's problems, but when you have people carrying your bags to the room, they want pictures because these guys are big stars. They don't have to carry their own bags. So I mean, these aren't problems that us normal people have. So it's really hard to have sympathy for them. But they weren't bitching about it as bad as Rhea Ripley, who I'm sure is just swarmed every time she's at an airport. But the other interesting thing they talked about, Rey Mysterio had a drug problem, which he said he never talked about publicly before, that he went to rehab for. He was given an ultimatum by his wife, the same wife that he's been with, I guess, since even before he was a star, which has been since he was a teenager. I forget if it was 13 or 16, but the wife said you got to stop it, and it was to do with pain pills. He was a pain pill addict, and he had ended up going to rehab and never had an issue again after his treatment. He talked about stem cells helping him greatly and being one of the main reasons why he's still be able to wrestle at his age, and with all the matches he's had, the stem cell injections he's had. which I've had some too, and I must say they're great. I hope one day, and I probably will do this, like what I'm sure Ray's might be partially sponsored, but to actually go to Colombia and get tons of stem cell injections on everything, be like a new person. That would be amazing because stem cells are a very expensive therapy. Colombia is still dangerous, though, apparently. I heard a story recently about an American getting shot at an intersection in Colombia. So you don't want to go out too much in unsafe areas. I don't even know how safe this area was, but this was I forget who it was, but it's a fairly famous person that was recently killed over there. Other than that, for the interview, they didn't really talk about much. Um, Logan Paul, I do think that he's got to watch the amount of jobs that he does. He probably doesn't understand that it does make a difference, winning or losing, and if he keeps losing these feature matches, it's going to hurt him. But anyways, that's just my opinion on it. I mean, the main reason Roman Reigns is over is because he hasn't been beat for so long. They gave him a monster push, but he's taken the ball and ran with it. Many people have taken the ball and fumbled, like the Rybacks of the world, or CM Punks that can't seem to like CM Punk. I'm not saying that he's my favorite wrestler or anything, but like he always seems to quit or something happens right when he's in the middle of a big push, and it's like, imagine if he wouldn't have these issues, how much more popular he'd be, and how much more he could help the companies. But that's just my opinion. I will expect that AEW will try and get CM Punk back for that Wembley Stadium show. I'd be shocked if they don't. And yeah, if someone posts AEW All Access on YouTube after it airs tonight, I'll be sure to watch it. I didn't mind it last week, but I don't have TBS. So on that note, it's beautiful here as we see the sun pouring in. Had a great arm workout today. Got a great run in. Did my DDP yoga, and I might even do it again because I've been running so much lately. I need it. But yeah, Jake Walker liked my interview with Brutus Beefcake. Thank you. And by the way, I will address one thing about Brutus Beefcake. Somebody made a comment that like he was basically Hogan's bag carrier. The first wrestling match I ever went to, and I recently sold both my Macho King and Brutus Beefcake shirts that I bought at that wrestling match in June of 1989 at the Ottawa Civic Center here, where I wrestled. It was Beefcake against Macho Man in the main event, and the place was packed. Like there was no empty seat, and it was a house show. So I understand that Brutus gets a bad rap, but he was really popular. And he may not have had the best run in WCW, but I can tell you he was really popular. And the times that we used him in Great North Wrestling, which we used him a lot in the early days of Great North Wrestling, he drew pretty well usually. There was more good houses than bad houses with Brutus. And one thing I will say, and he did talk about, we used to go out quite a bit in those days. I don't know how old he would have been, maybe in his 50s, but he was still going out. I don't think he was with his current wife. And I, of course, I liked to go out and have fun from time to time. I'm kind of known for that a little bit. But anyways, I've seen Beefcake in some like situations where people have tried to act like tough guys sometimes, maybe didn't know who he was or whatever. Some incidents like that can happen in bars. He doesn't back down from people. Like I won't even get into it, but I did see him get angry in a club once. That an after hours one that we went to in Montreal that we didn't last very long at. But yeah, I don't think he's like a pushover guy that some people might think he is either. And yeah, he did talk in the interview that he did help Hogan with his travel, and I'm sure that helped him keep his job for a long time. But that's really important when you're a big star like Hulk Hogan, with so much to do, to have somebody that can navigate for you and help you probably with your bags, help you find the gyms, help you find the restaurants, because you're having a crazy packed schedule. Now a lot of the guys have tour buses. Like I saw John Cena in an interview talking about he had a tour bus towards the end of his career. But in the 80s, they didn't do that. So anyways, I like Brutus overall. I think he's underrated. I need someone like Beefcake. Yeah, you know what? Maybe, but I don't plan on wrestling all that much. I'm happy being a reporter and interviewer, but there's a lot of projects I would like to do as time goes on. Thank you to all the subscribers and members, by the way. We're very close to 360,000 subscribers. We're over 220 million total views. We get a lot of views on Facebook too. So see you later. 8 p.m. tonight, live on this channel. None other than the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. And someone says he saw Brutus wrestle at a baseball stadium. If you weren't bored, if you weren't a fan in the late 80s, early 90s, you might not know that Brutus was really over. I was there at the Sky Dome too. He was over at WrestleMania 6. So I know he gets some heat for being Hogan's buddy, which I'm not sure how close they still are, but they have taken pictures together recently. But he was talented, and he was also a big guy. He's like 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". He's pretty damn tall, and he had a great physique most of his career too, which isn't easy to do. Just ask the guys nowadays. There's a lot less great physiques than there used to be.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews.